Hello, gorgeous, and thank you for joining us today. I'm your host, Kim Becker, and this is Hello, Gorgeous, Everything Beauty, Cancer, and Inspiration on Society Bites Radio, social interaction for the mind and soul. Our guest today is Josh Millar. Josh is the CEO of Amplified Marketing Group, AMG, founded in 2011. With a degree in marketing from SDSU and a long career in mobile technology, Josh realized the need for mobile-first approach. Discovering a void/need, Josh uses his passion and expertise to help recognize how small businesses and organizations market and communicate. Don't put off tomorrow what you can do today. Hi, Josh. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Kim. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm no complaints. It's a beautiful Friday.
I was going to say,
one of my favorite people.
Well, the feeling is very mutual. Thank you so much for being here. You know, I was trying to remember. Well, first of all, we've known each other for what, 7 or 8 years now, you think?
Yeah, I can't believe it's been so long.
I can't either. But what's really cool about having you here is I remember sitting by the beach at your favorite restaurant and talking about this. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah,
we were
absolutely.
Talking about, doing a podcast radio show, and you were saying how in San Diego, this is what people do because of the long commutes. They listen to podcasts all the time. And so as I was preparing my notes for today, I was smiling because it's come to fruition, and this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really incredible to watch you guys grow and just be a part of that journey too, and this is just another example of you just taking the bull by the horns and, trying to, what about you is you're never afraid to try new things.
No.
And especially with technology, it moves so quickly. And I think this is a great platform for you to share your message and share the love that you guys show every day.
Well, thank you. I'm excited. So let's talk about you. So tell me, what words best describe you and your business?
Well, I would say definitely passionate, reliable, creative, definitely patient. You have to be patient in this industry for sure.
Yes.
And then perseverance, is definitely one. Just as when you're a business owner, you work for yourself, you're going to run through a lot of obstacles and ups and downs, and you have to be able to just move past it. Don't let it, learn from it and figure out a way to overcome it. And those challenges just make you better and stronger.
And so tell us a little bit more about what AMG does. I know what you do firsthand, but let's tell our listeners exactly what it is that you guys do.
Yeah. Well, I like to say we make dreams happen, but for business,
Amen.
I mean, kind of like a one-stop shop. What started out 8 years ago is just focusing on apps, just realizing that app technology was becoming a big thing, and the power it provides as a marketing tool. But it kind of grew into like a one-stop shop where we deal with focusing on small businesses, and there's so many things that they need. And, so we do websites and apps and graphic design and help people get their social media started, just really help them get a mobile or web presence, and making sure, most importantly, that everything is working cohesively and sharing the same brand message. And so it works out really well that way, because these things all, at the end of the day, everything needs to communicate and look consistent and work together.
Well, and as you said, early on about being a small business owner yourself, sometimes there's a saying that I cling to a lot, which is you can't read the label from inside the jar. Sometimes you're so close to what it is that you do that you can't tell if the font on the website matches the font on your social media or vice versa, because you're just happy that you just got something out there. So that to me is why what you do is so valuable, because you get to stand back and you get to take a look. You're on the outside of the jar looking at the label. And so you actually get to see how consistency works and, what it looks like. So for me, I'm grateful to have somebody like you in my corner. And I think all small businesses would be grateful to have someone like you in their corner, because when you're a small business, but you look bigger than what you are, I think that's advantageous.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great analogy, the jar one. I haven't heard that one, and I'm going to borrow that one from you. I think it's awesome.
It's all yours.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I think that's what makes us so successful, and that's what makes it so much fun too. Is we come at it. We're doing a lot of tech stuff. We're building apps and websites and doing video work and stuff. But what's really exciting, and I think what really helps set us apart, is coming from a marketing angle, being from a marketing background, thinking marketing first. Like you said, I talked and worked with over 31 different industries, and it's always something new, and you kind of got to be a jack of all trades. But I love learning about these different industries. But like you said, coming at it from an outside perspective, I think is what really helps set us apart, because I could look back at the big picture and try to figure out I know much about you. And so how can we position this to where I understand it better and everyone else does too? Mm-hmm. When you're the business owner, you're incredible at what you do. And, I'd say it all the time to my clients. I'm like, you're amazed at what I do. I'm amazed at what you do, Right. And so, it's just an incredible experience and opportunity to be able to help impact people and kind of bring this outside perspective. And, between the two of us, we're going to come out with an outstanding product that people understand and want to be a part of.
So Josh, how did you discover your passion for doing what you do?
Well, it really started with, kind of like through college. I was working in the cell phone industry. I mean, the birth of the iPhone, I was a part of that. Literally the year that it came out, I was working for Singular Wireless, which used to exist. And, realizing the smartphone, people used to say all the time, smartphones were for business people, or I'll never text. And so, I got used to overcoming objections and kind of helping people, like hand holding them, people of all ages, learn about this technology and how it can help work for them, especially businesses. And in college, I was, my major was integrated marketing and communications. And so we were talking about marketing, but we weren't talking about cell phone technology or app technology. And, after doing both, once I finally graduated and had worked in the industry for like 7 or 8 years, I kind of, I always wanted to work for myself, and I loved helping businesses and come up with creative ways to help build their brand. And, I kind of thought, man, I got these two tools in my toolbox, maybe there's something here. And so I just kind of stepped out and went for it. And I started to really realize how powerful app technology would be and is for businesses and the way that they communicate.
That's awesome. And you get to see the fruits of your labor too. When you start with nothing, you start with a concept from the business, and then you put it into action. When it's all done and the app is working and the website is up, I bet it's kind of really gratifying for you, because you get to see the fruits of your labor.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's the fun part too, is seeing it all come to fruition. Mm-hmm. And then seeing in the long term, like the relationships I have with my clients, just like you, that I like to say that I like to build a relationship with my clients for a lifetime.
Yes.
That's really the goal. As long as I'm performing and helping you and we're making a really good impact, then, we're going to be in this for the long haul.
That's right.
We're going to be working together for a long time. And then that's the exciting part, is to see how what I bring to the table positively impacts the business.
That's right.
And see how it grows. Yep.
So share with our audience exactly what you do and how you help to grow the mission of Hello Gorgeous.
Where do we start?
Right?
Right. Well, I mean, if we're talking about, with what we were able to do for you, like I said, 7 years ago, just, we kind of started out with like the app aspect of it. What I love about apps is how tangible and cutting edge they are, and easy to use, and just how they're such a good, powerful marketing tool. And I think that's what we talked about in the beginning, is the ability to communicate with the push notifications directly with people, and how easy it is for them to share your message, because they can just, click share on the app and share it with friends and family. And even how you can, as a business owner, or someone that's trying to get your message out, how easy it is for you, instead of passing out business cards, I call them like a digital business card. So that's kind of where we started, with you. And, over time, we rebuilt the website, and, we've done a number of things, with some of the marketing campaigns, and just some of the concepts. You and I have done a lot of brainstorming over this time.
Yes.
Trish too, so
yes.
It's been really fun to be a part of that. And
well,
I just love what you guys do.
Well, thank you. We love you, because we couldn't do what we do without you. I remember sitting down and having one of the initial conversations with you, and Mike and I had always wanted a website that would be the go-to place for anybody for beauty and cancer. That, you were diagnosed, and there were sites out there that would tell you about your cancer, and the medical diagnosis, and the websites that would tell you about the treatments. But there wasn't a website that would really help you look good as you were going through that. And so you've really helped us develop that. You've really helped us put this website together that is becoming what we always dreamed of, which is truly the go-to place for everything beauty and cancer. And that's huge, because I will have a much larger impact on the rest of the world because of what you do for us, because you get that information out there. I can create content all day long, but if it just sits in the notebook on my desk, it doesn't help anybody. What I love is that I can create the content, and then I get to give it to you, and you're the one that helps spread that message really all over the world. So that's huge for us.
Yeah, thanks. I think, your website turned out outstanding. I think that was what's fun about that project. And then just like my approach being that word we talked about earlier, passionate, try to help take somebody's great idea or their passion and translate it into something beautiful that represents the message they're trying to get across, whether it's through the app or through the website. I think that we were able to really accomplish the impact and the power of what you guys do really shows through. And I think that was really the goal from the moment you got onto that site. You gotta, within 10 seconds, you totally understand like what it's all about.
That's right.
I hope that comes across. Yeah.
I agree. So, I'm not the most tech savvy person, which is why, at 2:00 on a Saturday afternoon, you get a text from Trisha and I saying, Josh, we have a question, or better yet, it's, hey, we've got an idea.
Right. I love those ones.
Right. So why should a business, do they need both a website and an app? And if so, what's the advantage to being able to have that?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I get it every day. But, what I came up with, this really summarizes it. I'd say, you need them both. It's like fishing. We're fishing in this giant ocean, and it takes a lot of different types of bait, or there's all these different avenues for us to try to find ways to communicate. And everyone has their favorite way to communicate, whether they're on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, or there was MySpace at one point, right? And that went away. Like YouTube's a communication tool, websites, apps. Like everyone has their favorite way to communicate, and it's up to us to make sure that we're available on all those avenues, right?
Right.
And what I like to say is websites. When you talk about websites and apps, websites are good for getting attention, but apps are good for building long-term quality retention. And the reason I say that is because when people go to your website and leave, you can never talk to them again unless they've opted into email. And, unfortunately, the open rate on email, they say, is 20% is the industry standard. And that's supposed to be good. And that's not good in the big picture, right? Whereas with an app, if you can get them from discovery, which is maybe they found you on the website, and then just like with your website, we try to let them know and push the app as much as possible, because we want to convert them into a long-term client, or build that long-term relationship with them. And so if they can download your app, it's saved to their phone as a bookmark, which is the best thing you could hope for. If they're scrolling through their apps and they run across yours, boom, you're top of mind. But the most incredible part is the push notification. So, the fact that they've downloaded your app, you can actually now communicate with them by sending out a push notification about anything that you needed to share with them. And the open rate for a push note is, they say, is 97%, which is absolutely incredible. And we get them all the time, and the thing is too, when you talk about that, what's different than we get messages, we get a ton of emails, we get text messages, we get social media notifications and things like that. But what's awesome about an app is it's your brand. So when people have all these different types of notifications coming in, it's your icon that shows up. So it stands out as well, and I think people are more likely to want to accept receiving those types of messages, from you. That, like a lot of us, if we had our notifications on for Facebook and Instagram and Twitter all the time, you'd get bombarded. So people tend to turn those things off, right?
Yes.
So that's another challenge. And so, I just think that's how the push notes kind of have an advantage, is they kind of cut through the clutter, and stand out. And they're more personal.
Right. So on a mobile app, what would you say is the most, the must-have information that you should have on a mobile app?
The must-have? Well, I think what's different about what we've been doing with the apps is, there's a lot of basic apps that we've all used, and you get in there and they're not really engaging. It's straight to the point. It's just a few subtle buttons, and there's not a whole lot there. Sometimes you got to realize that people might discover you for the first time because someone shared their app, your app with them, right? Or they discovered you through the app store. You could type in "Hello Gorgeous" in the app store and you'll pop up, right?
Right.
And so then at that point, they may never go to your website. And so the things that we try to put in the app is really everything, pretending like they never saw anything else, like your entire business, your whole personality of that business and that brand in there. And then it'll obviously include engaging things, aspects, like in your app, people can nominate women, they can purchase, product and stuff that you guys are, purchase your book and things like that, listen to this show on your app, which is really awesome.
I agree.
watch video and things like that. Right. And the best part about it, it's all in one place, right?
Right.
So.
And that's what I love too, is that, and you've done such an amazing job with our app that's what I saw, was that there's videos there if a woman was diagnosed with cancer and she had some questions about that. Any of our upcoming events are on there. We've created places for the salon affiliates to go to. If you're a stylist and you just want to learn more about Hello Gorgeous, you can do that too. So I thought all of that information was the way that you've got ours set up. I feel like it's very inviting and it's easy to follow around. Like, I don't get on there and I'm not overwhelmed with everything that's there, that it's all very useful.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a testament to just the layouts that I keep using, which I just find it to be super intuitive and user friendly. And that way you get that reaction. So there's a lot of apps you'll open up and you're just like, I don't even know what to do in this thing.
Right. Exactly.
Where to start.
Yes.
And if that happens, then you've lost them already. They're not focused on your brand message anymore. They're focused on how do I use this thing, or they'll just give up,
That's right.
So, yeah.
So you do more than just apps. So tell me more about the other products and the services that you offer.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, over the years, people loved working with us and loved the apps. And, like I said, at the end of the day, all these ways we communicate, they need to work cohesively, and so instead of waiting for the same struggle everyone else has with trying to get a hold of their web developer, and the same things we had run into when we were trying to get things done, or we're trying to at least get our clients' apps promoted on their website. We need the cooperation of, somebody else. And, it was just time. Clients were asking like, hey, Josh, can you guys do anything? Can you build a website? Can you do anything else for us? We just love working with you, and we can count on you. And I just love how you get things done. And so we just started expanding it, and just realized like we could have a much greater impact, and just by having more control. And so now having where we offer websites, apps, help people get their social media started, get their branding started. Sometimes we have brand new businesses coming to us that have nothing, and that's the fun part, because then now you're coming up with logos, brand messaging, building out the websites, the apps, get them on Yelp, get them on Google. There's just so many things, but it's all really important,
Yes.
And like you said, for somebody that does, this isn't their forte, so they're like, I don't even know where to start.
That's right.
And if you don't get somebody that knows what they're doing, all your money and your effort could be for nothing, right?
That's right.
No one ever sees it. So,
that's right.
yeah,
and so you talked about just a startup. So would you prefer, or what would you recommend if somebody came to you and said, okay, I only have X amount of dollars. Do I do a website or an app? Which one would you recommend for a startup business?
Well, I'm certainly biased, and I'm all pro app for sure. I mean, and especially like you think about, over pretty much everyone has smartphones now. I mean, it's not like how it used to be like 8 years ago, or where people say, well, my clients, they don't have smartphones, or they're not tech savvy. And like, no, that doesn't hold anymore, right?
Right.
Apps, smartphones are just really easy to use. And, at the end of the day, if you're trying to grow your business, think about like how much networking you try to do when you're constantly beating down doors and passing out business cards, and, you're trying to build these relationships. And especially like in some of our industries where referrals are so important, that what's going to be easier for someone to share your website with? They have to just tell somebody how to find it. It's not saved to their phone. Or, hey, you know what? You should check out Hello Gorgeous. You have a smartphone. Let me send it to you right now. What's your phone number or email? And you send them a link to download it, and it's done.
And they download the app.
So it saves you money from passing out business cards. Websites, I think today, like, having a basic website is important, because you still need to catch people on that front, but the goal is to get them to the app so you can start building that network, building that relationship. Hopefully if they love what you're doing, you've made it a lot easier for them to talk about you and share your business. So if you talked about growing your business, that makes a lot of sense to me. It's kind of putting this tool out there that hopefully, gets its own legs and grows,
That's right.
And apps actually, think about people search for things in the App Store all the time.
That's right.
So that's another avenue for people to discover you. And now with Google, the way they have it set up, you could type in Hello Gorgeous app, and that's going to pop up as a suggestion in their search engine too. So there's a lot of other ways that people are actually going to discover your app, and it actually, helps with your SEO. And like I said, it just like helps as far as getting that message spread.
Awesome.
And it's, and it stands out. I mean,
that's right.
It sets you apart. If you're looking for a way to set yourself apart from another business, it was definitely a good way to do that.
Well, and you have certainly done that for us. And so I so appreciate everything that you do for us. So we are almost out of time, but we didn't get to a couple of the questions that I would love to ask you. So I would like to invite you to come back as a guest at a later date so that we can discuss more about where you think technology is going. And so I'd love to have you back.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to do that.
Great. Well, thanks, Josh, for taking the time with us today. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to contact me at kbecker@hellogorgeous.org or visit our website at www.hellogorgeous.org or download our mobile app. Thank you so much for joining us today on Hello Gorgeous, Everything Beauty, Cancer, and Inspiration. I am your host, Kim Becker, and until next time, stay gorgeous.
Another beautiful day, walking in the sunshine, spending the time with you. Last night we had a good time, dancing in the moonlight and loving the night away. I can't imagine what it'd be like. I can't imagine what it'd be like. I can't imagine what it'd be like without you. I can't imagine that.